Alright, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. This is going to be the second video in the pros and cons series, the pros and cons of every weapon in Apex Legends. This video is going to be on the Volt. We did the Havoc last time, and now we're going to do the Volts. Now, as I said in the last video, this is going to be the pros and cons from the perspective of a hybrid player, in the sense that I can be a very aggressive player, and I can be a very passive player. So the pros and cons of the Volt. We'll start off with the pros. The pros are the Volt with, let me see, do a gold mag and a stabe. Oh, and obviously the irons. The irons, the big pro. Starts off with ball my iron sights. But anyways, the pros of the Volt are from, if you're good at controlling recoil, from around mid-range. This is also a pro and a con. From around mid-range, you can beam with the Volt. It's a pretty easy weapon to beam with, and I just woke up, so I'm very sorry if I... It's a pretty easy weapon to beam with. Another pro of the Volt is obviously the damage. It does 15 damage body and 23 damage head. And if it's a low pro damage head, if it's a... what's it called? Fortified, I think it does... let's say 12 body and 20 head. That's what I'm gonna say for low profile. Not low profile, fortified. I'm not quite sure though. Now, as I said, the pros of the Volt are obviously it doesn't have very much recoil if you have a stabe, and it doesn't have, or it has really good damage. That's what I mean to say. And another pro of the Volt is obviously the fire rate. The fire rate of the Volt, as you can see, is very quick. I'd say it's just a little bit slower than the R9. The R9's fire rate is obviously the fastest fire rate in the game. I'd say it's just a little bit slower than the R9's fire rate, and I'd say it actually edges out the R9 in a 1v1. Now, another pro of the Volt are, as I said, the iron sights, the low recoil, if you have a stabe on, if you have a barrel stabilizer on, and the high fire rate. But then again, the high fire rate, I'll save that for the cons. Another pro for the Volt. Well, the Volt actually ends up beating out a good majority of the fully automatic weapons, if you can actually hit your shots. If you can hit your shots with the Volt, you'll beat out a decent bit of most full auto weapons. It's like, for example, if you can hit your shots with I've beat out, let me see, I've beat out Flatlines before, I've beat out Spitfires, I've beat out R9s, just because of the sheer damage. I've beat out Alternators, even though the Alternators are a pretty good gun now. I've beat out a lot of stuff. Now, that's the pros of the Volt: the recoil, the damage, the fire rate, and the fact that you can win your 1v1s against most weapons if you actually manage to hit your shots with the weapon. Now, here's the cons. Now, I said a pro of the Volt is obviously the fire rate and the recoil. Now, those are pros if you have a stabe and a mag. See, the weird thing about the Volt is that it doesn't... the recoil only kicked 5 to 6 shots. After the first 5 to 6 shots, the recoil levels out, and it goes straight. It doesn't move anywhere. I'll show you what I mean here. This is me not controlling the recoil. You can see for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So if you're controlling it, it'll take around 13 shots for it to normalize. Or if you're not controlling it, rather, it'll take around 13 shots for it to normalize itself and not really go anywhere. But if you are controlling it won't go anywhere from the start. Now, as I said, due to the recoil, the volt can beam from a range. But it's a lot more difficult to beam with a volt from a range. Say you're going up against an R3. Then again, that's a pretty hasty, not a hasty, but like a pretty bad comparison because it's an R3. But like, say you're going up against a fully decked volt, and you have no stab, no mag, just default volt. This is what you can do at a range. If you haven't mastered the volt's recoil, that's what you can do at a range. Now, say you're going up, now say you have a... This is what the fully decked volt can do at a range. Let me kill this thing. Die, please. Die, please. Please die. Thank you. Now we're going to go back to the same range, which right around here would be mid-range. And we're going to try it again. Obviously, it's a noticeable difference. Now, that's one con of the volt. The mag size without any sort of magazine controller. Can you please stop having stick drift? Now, another con of the volt would be the recoil, as I said, without any sort of barrel stabilizer. Like, even a white barrel stabilizer, in my opinion, can help the volt a lot when it comes to recoil. Like, it's a lot easier to control the volt's recoil, even with just a white stab. I'm mumbling over my words, mumble mouthing. With even a white barrel stabilizer, it can help a lot. Now, as I said, where one con is the magazine without any type of extended magazine attachment. Another con and pro, this is kind of a con and pro for the volt, is the fire rate. Now, the volt fire rate is really, really good if you have at least, I'd say, a level 2 extended mag. Because if you have, say, let me take off my stock, take off my sight, nothing. If you have, say, only a level 2, what the fuck, what, no, stop. If you have, say, only a level 2 extended mag volt, sorry, I'm gonna go. Okay, I'm so very sorry for doing that. As I said it, as I was saying, if you have a volt with only a blue extended mag, and you're going up against, say, what can I use for an example? What's a lot easier to control when you have the base version? We'll say a flatline. Now, I did just say the flatline edges out the volt, but you'll see what I mean. Okay, if you're going up against, say, a flatline with a volt that only has a blue mag, you'll more than likely win the challenge. And don't get me wrong, the volt without a blue mag, let me see. If you can hit your shots with it, it can one click. Let me see. Yeah, it can one click. But if you miss even if you miss around, I'd say around 3 shots, you're screwed. Because the flatline, if I'm not mistaken, does around 5 more damage than the volt. 19, 50, yeah, it does literally like 4 more damage than the volt. So let me see. Yeah. So it took me 14 bullets to one clip someone with a flatline, and with a volt it takes 23, it takes 15. Now, believe it or not, one more bullet can mean a lot. Especially when the flatline does 4 more damage than the volt. So, try my best to edit out the part where I had to go for around 30 seconds. And so in conclusion, in my personal opinion, from the best that I could describe it, The pros of the Volt are the fire rate, if you have at least a blue mag. The fire rate as well, if you have any kind of stabilizer. The recoil, if you have any kind of stabilizer. The iron sights, because the iron sights are beautiful. And the damage, because it's a very hard-hitting, very fast-firing SMG. Now, the cons of the Volt are the fire rate without... Okay, the fire rate without a barrel stabilizer and a mag, if you aren't barrel stuffing. If you're trying to... Mine was fucking horrible there, but you get the gist. The fire rate without a mag and a stab. The recoil without a barrel stabilizer. And the mag size. Because obviously without an extended mag, you'll get edged out by weapons that have like 1 to 2 more bullets than you if you run out of ammo and you don't one-click the person. So in conclusion, the pros: fire rate with a barrel or with a mag, recoil with a barrel stabilizer, and damage. The cons: recoil without a barrel stabilizer, fire rate without a barrel stabilizer, and mag size without a magazine. That was my best attempt to try to explain the pros and cons of the Volt. If you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, because it would help out a lot. It would help me get a little bit more publicity and help me get noticed. If you did enjoy the video, please consider liking and subscribing. I hope I could at least teach you one thing about the Volt today. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Goodbye, guys.